secret places that only Hispanics can go.
Okay. That sounds cool. Hello, Jello.
Hello.
What's up?
Well, I've been diagnosed ADHD last year. I'm 29. I didn't really know anything about ADHD until the YouTube algorithm handed me a video amidst all the self-help searches I've been doing for years.
Did you call into Advice and Confessions once?
I did, yeah, you remember me?
I do.
That's cool. Well, I thought maybe I'd try to go point by point through your Twitter stuff, not to like eat up a whole bunch of time, but just it's easier to focus myself.
Go ahead.
So let's see. This first one. So the subjectivity of the ADHD criteria. You've been talking lately about the functioning, the bottom 5% functioning people. How do you know if you're in that? At what point do you know that you can't fix it yourself without medication? Because personally,
you
I
can't.
got all the way
you do that-
here.
you have a doctor decides that for you, I think, or a psychologist.
I think the way it works now is that the doctors don't tell you that you are the worst case possible.
Yeah, I'm
They
just
just
saying.
tell you you're
I'm just saying
ADHD.
conceptual. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying conceptually, if everybody showed up performing about the same, they wouldn't tell anybody they have ADHD. So obviously, ADHD is something we tell people they have when they're below average in certain ways.
That's true, but the certain ways actually differ quite a bit. Like me, for example, I'm not that impulsive, but I'm pretty unmotivated
Yeah,
and forgetful.
I don't think it's a great diagnosis because you have to make tons of caveats. Like I have this type and I have this type, which is completely different, yet they're the same disorder, which just seems like a catch-all for a bunch of different symptoms that make you want to give people Adderall to treat the symptoms. But that it's almost like ADHD now. The diagnosis is reverse engineered from the drug. So really, the diagnosis is I'm going to give you Adderall, and then when we say, well, what does Adderall help with? And it helps with this thing and this thing and this thing and this thing, and they may not all be caused by the same thing. They might not even have much in common with each other, but we'll just call them ADHD. So ADHD now is, and literally, Dr. Tuckman defined it this way. He said, if you can be treated with therapy, you don't have ADHD. And if Adderall doesn't help you, you don't have ADHD. So the actual diagnosis is just you need Adderall. And
Well, he said that.
that which can be improved with Adderall is now defined. That is what ADHD is.
I think he only said that because you were debating the usefulness of medication. Realistically, when you go in for your diagnostic appointment, if it's a good therapist, they're not just going to give you the diagnosis and go, "Oh, here's the medication, go wild." They don't like to prescribe stimulants. I'm on a non-stimulant actually, which is why I don't think the effects are as
Dr.
good as they could be.
Dr. Tuckman said the non-stimulant is a bunch of horseshit, to paraphrase.
Well, it did help me with cleaning, but just cleaning. Although that's a big, big difference for me. Cleaning just on its own, like, I feel like I'm retaining my personality, really. I'm not that different, but now it's easier to clean. And I don't know if that matters to you. If the medication isn't changing who you are, but it's just making some tasks easier, is it just as bad to you?
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that I don't think that the
Well,
diagnosis itself is that well thought out, and it seems to be reverse engineered from the drug.
I understand, but you're saying that you don't want most people to just go straight to the medication.
Listen,
However,
95% of the comments are about how your mouth is dry.
oh no, they
I don't
can
want to call
tell.
you out, but I also don't want you to have to watch this later if you're looking at the chat.
Okay.
People are really freaking out.
Sorry, guys, I'm probably too close to the microphone.
So it's not that weird that we can hear your saliva. It's fine.
It's a good sound effect for your image there. Was that frog? Well, we can move on to the next point.
Okay.
Maybe schools suck and teachers are boring. You want to put the burden on teachers for the kids' performance. Don't you think this would create resentment in the teachers and a worse environment for these kids?
Resentment, yes. Yes. Resentment for teachers sounds good. Worse environment for kids? No, I don't think so. I think teachers are too prone to throwing kids under the bus, and teachers probably need more support with their jobs. But yeah, I think that if all your kids are failing and jumping around the classroom, I think that it not necessarily speaks to the maybe the teachers aren't being asked to do the right thing themselves. But I just think that the whole school system needs to be kind of rethought because it's fucking terrible. It was terrible when I went, and like it seems worse now because the gap between the cognitive abilities of kids and adults is growing.
I don't know that the reasons that it's terrible has a lot to do with needing to pay attention to boring things. I think needing to pay attention to boring things is sort of a necessity, and if you wanted to change that fact, you'd have to change a lot about society because there's a lot of boring work that has to be done.
Yeah, let's change a lot about society. I think that sounds good too.
Well, what's the timeline on this? In the meantime, there's a lot of people who could be benefiting and fitting into that system and maybe even changing the system from the inside. If medication can propel you farther than you would otherwise get, then maybe you can actually understand what needs to change, as opposed to just floundering, becoming maybe an entrepreneur or maybe a minimum wage worker. It varies. Isn't it helpful to get people... this was something I was going to bring up. You bring up the black people taking a pill to become white.
Yeah.
Well...
The white pill.
Well, consider Martin Luther King. He had to appeal to white systems with kind of a message of love and not hate. Look how fast the trans movement got people so upset about trans stuff and even LGBT stuff in general now because it's so pervasive. It happened fast and it happened too aggressively. If ADHD people are... Yes. If ADHD people were taking the middle ground where they're conforming to the systems, but they're also directing how they're changing from within, don't you think that's more helpful?
I don't know. I get what you're saying, but I think that Martin Luther King also was pretty clear that he wanted to challenge the systems that he was operating in. Obviously, and he also died for it. So I think that's a great model for an ADHD person. We should all aspire to be like Dr. King. And then maybe our great grandchildren will get to reap the rewards of our hard work. Okay, last point.
Okay.
No, your last point.
Hold on, I'm reading my notes.
Oh, okay. Take your time.
Oh, okay. Although you're not diagnosed, if you do consider yourself to be ADHD, as one of the more visible members of the ADHD group, you're speaking to people who are very likely to deny themselves their medication already. Do you feel like you, in your position, you have your coping mechanisms, you got to where you are? A lot of people will never form these coping mechanisms. And I feel like they're going to hear your message and think, well, I just have to try harder. But for how long? And what criteria are they looking to fulfill?
I'm not telling anybody to try harder.
But then how do you make it? I mean, you have to make it somehow. If you can't make the 9 to 5, you got to do the entrepreneur thing, or you do the minimum wage thing.
Do you have to make it? I don't know. Do we all have to make it?
To survive, we do, to pay our bills.
Well, we all die. What do you mean by to survive?
Oh. Well, we don't want to die.
Just the conceptual, I guess what you're saying, it just feels like you're saying we all have to fit in. And I think that's the exact thing that I'm arguing against. I don't know.
If we can only fit in by having other people do our stuff that we don't want to do for us, it seems to be putting all the burden on neurotypical, so to speak, people to clean up after us. And neurotypical people need help too. So I don't know. I feel like maybe the system is not as broken as you think. It just feels broken from your perspective. And I feel like given that we have options like medication, we should probably take them. I don't think it's such a bad route.
All right. Well, thanks.
Thank you. Sorry for my saliva, everybody. Sorry.
They all forgive you. You're forgiven.
Oh,
Yeah, I found it
thanks.
charming. It was fun.
Some people even liked it. So thank you
Oh
for
no.
calling.
Oh.
Well, yeah, I know. Thank you for calling. I appreciate your input.
Thank you too. All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Fuck that bitch.
Jeez, Doobie.
I apologize.